Hey, is now an okay time? I know it's been a minute since I did a story time about my dating escapades. There's been a lot of life happening in this, it's time for a little catch up. Oh, and you know the name of the game. I don't tell short stories, so go get yourself a little snacky snack, get yourself a little drink. This will be shorter than some of my other stories, but you know the name of the game, the joys in the details, so let's get into it. I will say this is going to be a shorter story. I just want to tell you about a recent date night that I had. And I'll catch you up on everything else that's been going. It's been great. Okay. Context that you need for this story. All right. I'm a late bloomer. I didn't start dating until my 30s. I'm currently dating my boyfriend, aka the Bear, which is his nickname on this channel because we protect his privacy. We've been living together since Christmas. Now, there's a whole lot of life happening right now, okay, in Alora's world, which I can't even get into fully right now. Some of it's good. Most of it's good, some of it's bad. But I want to talk to you about what has been wonderful for the Bear and I. So firstly, oh, hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm living with a man. I'm living with the love of my life. Okay. It happened by accident. It was just one of those things that turned into him packing a bag and coming over and staying for a weekend and then a week and then 2 weeks. And then the suitcase was perpetually, we would just wash the clothes and stay longer, and people kept asking, where's the story time for him moving in? It's because there wasn't really. It just kind of happened slowly, and then he just didn't go home, and I didn't want him to go home. And then we started moving some of his stuff in, like, every time we visited, because he also owns his own house. A little bit more and more all the time, and here we are. Neither one of us has lived with a partner romantically before, so it's a very new experience for us both, and figuring out life with a partner, romance when you're still kind of new to it, and also we were strangers 8 months ago, and now we're like, our lives are merging, and what that looks like for someone who you've known a relatively short time but also feels like you've known forever, it can be a lot. Anyway, I digress. One of the things that I really wanted to emphasize when we moved in together, because you go from having very like intentional dates and like planned time together to you're together all the time. And one of the things that was important to both of us was that we still made time for date nights. We wanted to be dating each other, right? So once a week, we set aside dedicated time to have a date night. Originally, our date nights were on Friday nights, obvious reasons, but what I found was it kept getting kind of like steamrolled into social time with our friends or family, which was fun. Like we were going on double dates and family functions and hanging out with people and hosting people. And like, it's been like a really fun, like I can't express to you how fun it's been, like rolling into each other's lives that way. But it did mean that even though we were spending all this time together at home, reading, doing chores, watching movies, cuddling up on the couch, all things that I never thought I would have and I do not take for granted for even a second, okay? But we're not always spending intentional, like getting to know each other time together. Like we're enjoying time, but it's different. Like quality time is different than just regular lifetime, right? So I had suggested to the Bear, hey, do you know, maybe we should pick a different date, since Fridays, like a different day to do date nights, since Fridays seem to be very social for us. And he was like, you're right, let's do Wednesdays because it's hump day and it breaks up the week, and also it's hump day. It was a bad wing, but you get it. I was like, bet. So this Wednesday, which was 2 days ago, rolls around, and I am manifesting my future hardcore right now, friend. I wanted to be a professional published author since I was a little girl. It hasn't happened yet, but I had a photo shoot this morning for author headshots because, what is the quote? A dream written down with a date becomes a goal broken down into steps becomes a plan backed by actions make your dreams come true. So I've written a book. I'm working on getting it published. It's not been published yet. But we're rolling ahead. We're moving ahead. We're doing all the things, and I've never had an author headshot. So here we are. And I decided that for my author headshot, I really wanted to take advantage of all of the spring flowers that are around my part of New York right now where I live. So since this was a very last minute decision, it's actually kind of difficult to try and find a photographer last minute. I remembered randomly that someone I was friends with years ago did wedding photography. She happened to have a free slot on Friday. I only gave her like a week heads up. So it went from, oh, this is a fun thing that we're going to plan to do, to, oh, it's next week. Oh, what the fuck am I supposed to wear? So Wednesday rolled around. Okay. The photo shoot was Friday morning today. And I told the bear, I was like, listen, I think we need to reschedule our date night because I don't know what to wear. I have no clue. And I want to go at least shopping. I haven't gone shopping in person forever. I do most of my shopping online now or through TikTok shop. But I feel like I need to just find something I feel very cute in. So is it okay if we just, we'll move our date night? And he was like, okay, well, hear me out. He's like, you're going to go to a store and try on dresses, right? And I was like, yes. And he goes, well, what if I came with you and you tried on the outfits for me, and I'm going to love them all because I think you're beautiful and anything you wear or don't wear. Who is she? But he was like, I could be waiting outside the dressing room and rank them like a proper Hallmark boyfriend. How does that sound? Literally, my face looked like this. Okay, this exact emoji when I got this text from him because we were both at work at the time. And I was like, you better be so serious about this. You better not change your mind because I love this idea. He was like, no, I'm not doing anything else. And it would kind of be like a mini date night, right? We could get dinner at the food court because I told him I was going to go to the mall. When was the last time I went to a mall? I've never been to a mall with a boyfriend either. So this was the plan. We were going to meet at the mall after work. We had enough time to go to probably 1, maybe 2 stores and then grab dinner before we went home. So I vaguely knew I wanted something neutral with florals on it or not. But I really wanted what I was wearing not to overpower the flowers that I envisioned being around me. I live in Rochester, New York, so it's lilac season right now. So I wasn't picturing, big lilac tree, that kind of thing, right? This was the vision that we went into. So I get there, I roll up. His job was closer than mine to the mall in question. So he gets there and he's already waiting outside the store, torrid, by the time I get there. So we walk in and I tell him, listen, this is the name of the game, okay? My plan is to do a sweep of the store, just pick out things that appeal to me, like pattern or color wise. We try it all on and then we get rid of what we don't like. We do it and then we do it a second time. And I was like, if you see things that you think would be cute on me, you should let me know. I'd love to know what you'd pick out for me. He was like, sounds like a plan. So we're walking through Torrid. I start to load dresses up on him, or like cute little outfits. Eventually dressing room lady comes and she's like, would you like a soap dressing room? We'll put your name on it, the scoop. And she whisks it away and he watches her go and he's like, what is this fancy shit? Did you make an appointment or something? I was like, no, this is how women's stores work. Have you never had a dressing room? Of course, why would he? He just buys things and tries them on at home. The puzzlement that was temporary on his face as he saw this woman whisk away my pile of clothes. He was like, damn, this is fancy. I'm sorry, y'all men don't have this experience all the time. I'm so sorry. So once I've accumulated maybe 10 items, I go in and I start coming out in them one at a time. And I come out, I do a spin, I look him in the face and I'm like, okay, I like this dress. Here's why I don't love it. And I was like, you have to be objective here. You can't just say you like them all, okay? The goal isn't to like them all. And he very quickly, I will say, he was in it to win it. I kind of very quickly ruled out that I was going to wear a jeans outfit. I did already have a favorite flannel and jeans outfit at home, but I wanted to go to this photo shoot with 2 different outfits. One could be casual with denim and, that kind of thing. I actually really wanted my forearm tattoos because they're literally inspired to be in this photo shoot. But I really wanted something feminine and cute and not super fancy. And we're going in and out, trying different outfits on. I was not prepared, even though I told him he had to be objective. When I came out in a few of those dresses, and he's looking me up and down. and studying me, quickly realized that we both preferred the dresses that were above the knee, which is kind of my favorite anyway, but I'm tallish, so sometimes I do wear longer length dresses. But just seeing him, like the look on his face. Part 2, dress shopping with the bear. Let's go. But just seeing that look on his face where I could tell just by his facial expression that I looked good in something. And then hearing him rank them as, you know, we went through, and he did pick out a few things. He added it to the pile. I wasn't prepared in the best way possible for how much fun that was. We eventually settled on this, but it's an A-line dress. It has pockets. But this was after round 1. Let's still do a round 2 and make sure we don't like anything more. So we're picking out a few things. We stopped by like the lingerie and bra sections because I only own like black, but like black like bras and underwear, but I wanted to have some more nude colored things. So I'm picking out, you know, some sensible bras, and he pauses and he goes, "Whoa, what is this?" And this was at the same time that, whoa, over here I noticed a bralette that was like a pale blue with daisies lingerie situation, and I picked that up. I make eye contact with him, and I was like, I want to try this one on. And I was like, and I'll show you later. And then over here, he's at the fun bra section, which you know what the fun bra section's like, okay? It's all the colorful things that don't really match anything. And if you can hide it under your clothes, that's awesome. But it's mostly just for spicy times, or if you can hide it under your clothes. Again, looks awesome. So he picks out this neon floral bra. It has like black straps, and spies the matching underwear. He's like, wow, that would be a really good set. And I'm like, yeah, it would be a real good set. It's also, I promise you, going to be at least $100. He was like, excuse me? I was like, this is just, bras are usually 50 from a store like this, and a set like that, a fancy bra, like, yeah, $100. I was right. It was just under. It was like 95. I saw the look on his face. I was like, but listen, I'll go try it on just in case. And he was like, you want to send me pictures? I was like, yeah, I'll send you pictures. Someone asked me recently about how I feel about taking spicier photos, and if there's a way to become more confident about it. Hell if I know, friends. Hell if I know. I feel sexy when I'm with him. I don't know how I feel about like trying to look sexy in that. I don't know how I feel about it because I don't know how to do it. Okay? I don't know how to do it. But I do my best. Okay? I do my best. So I sashay into the dressing room. I try on the bra, and it is very cute. And I turn around, and I pop my butt out a little bit and do a little. And I come out, I hold the phone up. He's like, yeah, that's a really good set. And I was like, yeah, it's a really good set, but, oh, you just can't do it. And he was like, well, I was going to send you money for it, but it doesn't sound like you love it as much. I was like, honestly, it's this particular color scheme isn't really me. Though I do appreciate that it looks cute. But I was like, don't worry, I am getting this daisy set, the one I first spied. And I'll show you later tonight. So, dress in hand, and I did pick out a few other outfits just as backups. But again, I can tell you, spoiler alert, this was the winner if you can't already tell. With my yellow power coat, the OGs know what I mean by that statement. It's going to be... I can't wait to show you how they turned out. Walk back to the food court. And we're walking hand in hand, and I realize I've never done this before. I've never been to the mall with a boyfriend before. And I've certainly never gone dress shopping with one either, okay? These are a multitude of new experiences. But it's just fun, and we're like laughing, and we're looking at all the different, you know, straight sizes stores, because both of us are plus size. So like one of the reasons I didn't go to the mall was because outside of Torrid, there weren't really many places, especially in my 20s, that carried anything above an extra large. And I've existed mostly as a 2X, 3X most of my life. And even now that I'm an extra large, some of those stores, I still kind of turn my nose up at because I'm like, you didn't support me when I needed you at my heaviest. And I'm not inclined to follow you now. But also, there are still so many boutique stores that stop at a size large. And I don't understand. Y'all, why? I get tariffs and all. I do understand that. Okay, but this isn't new to the tariff situation. Plus sizes are historically super hard to find in malls. Rant over. We're meandering along. We're pointing out all the stores that we, especially as younger people, we're probably a little bit more butthurt that we couldn't fit into. And we're almost at the food court, and he stops. And there's a jewelry store. azales. And he points at the rings and he's like, man, are you sure you don't want a diamond? Who doesn't want diamonds? Context. It has been a thing that he has been teasing about me lately. This is the love of my life. Okay. I have been so vocal about the fact that I'm ready to marry this man the moment he asks. Okay. And he's going to pick the moment. He's got to pick the time, but I'm like a go. So have I already told them that, yes, you can talk to my father, not really out of like more of like a tradition thing, less his permission thing. Doesn't really matter if he says yes or no. I just want you to go through the effort of asking him. Okay. And, the ring that I want. Okay. I'm not particular about the shape of it, but I don't want a huge diamond. I have like tactile issues. I'm sensitive to certain things. And the thought of feeling the like any kind of stone on my hands or getting caught on something. Oh, I'm also just not like a sparkly person. Like I wear gold. This is like a little teeny tiny bit of jewelry on it, but that's about it. So I have been made fun of. I've been roasted by this man mercilessly, okay? Mercilessly. So we walk through and he's like, how are people supposed to know that I'm like proud to be like with you? I want to like spoil you if you don't have diamonds on your ring. And I'm like, that's not the only reason why you wear a ring, a wedding ring. But I just really want like a simple, maybe braided or thin gold band. Like it doesn't need to sparkle. You should be rejoicing. So he starts looking down. He's like, well, what about this one? And I'm like, no, it's too much sparkle. They can't be raised. He's like, well, what about this one? And it was like a ring that had kind of like a little loop like this. I was like, I mean, that's kind of cool looking, but it needs to be gold. That's silver. And then the ring guy comes over. He's like, hey, do you guys want to be sized? And I was like, sure. I mean, I kind of roughly knew what my size was, but the bear definitely didn't. So the bear gets his ring size. I get my ring size. We're looking at some of the men's rings, and I found it really funny that he immediately had an opinion about what he liked or didn't like. Like my father has always worn just like a simple gold band. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of just assumed most men did. But the bear was liking ones that kind of looked a little bit mechanical, which was fun because he's an electrician, right? So it had like blue on the outside or black on the inside or gold and black, and just, they're very cool looking things. It's just, I think both of us were potentially surprised about having an opinion on such things. But, we take out a few, and he did kind of talk me into trying a few that had a little bit of sparkle, and they were cute. He had good taste. And then I had no idea what he liked, so that was news to me too. He found this huge medallion that had a bear in the center of it, and he's like, oh, I should get this. I was like, you don't even wear jewelry. And he's like, doesn't matter, I could wear it for special occasions. And I'm like, well, with the price of gold these days, that huge medallion is some money, my boy. That's not for us. It was just so fun. And we left, holding hands and talking about how funny it was that we had such strong opinions on things that we've never really thought about before. Like, as someone who was perpetually single, I never really allowed myself to dream of a wedding because there was no point. I wasn't going to have one. I had never even had a first kiss. And life has changed so quickly since then. Last September, before I met him, I was coming out of a breakup period with my ex, and I never once thought I would marry my ex. Okay, I never had that kind of certainty, and to have that certainty with the bear of like, yeah, I see a whole future with you like this, that is wild. And I know I said this wasn't going to be a long story, but here we are. We're going into a part 3, so let's jump. Part 3, dress shopping with the bear. Let's go. But like, when I went on a first date with him, I was doing a 1-month dating app challenge. I just wanted to not be afraid to go on the date again. I wanted to just challenge myself to just meet people, have fun, and just get back on the horse. I didn't expect to like hit it off with him. And when I think about how quickly, again, life has changed for us to be several months in to living together and thinking about the future, like we talk about having kids and what kind of house we want our future home to be, like once we're married, it's just, in the best way possible, it's overwhelming because I never thought this was a life that I could have. And I didn't know it was possible to mesh with someone so completely, like to feel so myself, to feel so safe and adored by him. Like it's was she. And looking at the rings, I knew it was special in the moment, but it just happened so organically. Like it was just, and we were like, you know, poking fun at each other and looking at all the different things. And then he started picking out rings he knew I absolutely would hate. And they had like big honking diamonds on it. And I was like, absolutely not. This would kill me. And then we went over to this little poke bowl. Is that how you say it? Poke? How am I saying? I know I'm butchering that. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean, right? We both got boba teas and we're sitting and we're laughing, and people talk a lot about when you meet and sparks fly, right? And it's exciting. But what I don't hear people talk about enough is how exciting it is when you're past the butterflies a little bit. And when there's like joyful excitement, like there's still, I don't mean to say that things aren't still exciting, because he still looks at me sometimes or says something and I'm like, and I can feel in my chest like I'm going to explode with butterflies. But it's different when there's such ease with a person, when you can talk about anything. Like it, I didn't know it could be like that. I didn't know. So I'm telling him, you know, I felt a little bit better about the shoot now, because I had like a cute outfit, but I was also like, man, what if there's always this part of me that knows I'll be crushed if pictures of me are bad. Like I've been on a weight loss journey my whole life, but I've also been plus size my whole life. And the way a bad picture can set you back mentally is wild. And I had this moment of like, what if there are no good pictures taken of me? I cannot tell you how this will destroy me. And he's like, you're beautiful. You know that, right? Like, you're not going to have issues finding one picture you like. And not the way that you think. There's going to be so many that you're going to have a hard time whittling them down. It was his first time trying boba too. And we were both so excited by the flavors we chose. We both got smoothies. His was a chocolate coconut with strawberry popping boba. And mine was strawberry mango smoothie with mango popping boba. So good. And then we hustled on home. I drove right behind him to follow him home, which I love following him home if we happen to drive separately. The way that I just zero in on that man's car and then there's like no thoughts in my brain. And I'm just like, oh yeah, take me home. We get home and we are stuffed, okay? Stuffed. But we get our jammies on. Diggory is so thrilled to see us. The bear sits on the couch. I sit on the couch. Diggory sits on the couch. And we decided to watch an episode of Lovecraft Country, which was recommended to me to try after we saw Sinners and loved Sinners. We'll talk about that in another video. So we've been watching Lovecraft Country lately. And besides the whole situation with Jonathan Majors, it is a really good show. I went up and I a lot of times wear just like a silk robe before I go to bed, because I most of the time sleep in my birthday suit with this man, okay? Like the way self-consciousness does not exist in my brain when I'm with him is wild. But I told him I wanted to try the Daisy outfit. So like when I was heading upstairs to put on my pajamas, I was like, listen, I know it's late. I didn't know where the light was going to lead, even though we do like to hump on hump day, if you know what I'm saying. Who is she? I didn't know. And I was like, can I show you the Daisy outfit I bought? And he was like, yeah, you can show me the Daisy outfit that you bought. So I come sauntering down the stairs. I'm in my little robe. I'm making us some popcorn for dessert. And I walk in. I slide the robe off my shoulders and I'm all like, do you like it? And he was like, oh. And what he always tells me when I wear lingerie, he's like, and I can see it in his face, like, I love this, but I also love you better out of it. But Lovecraft Country, right? So I settle beside him. I've got my silk robe. I'm on one side of the couch. He's in the middle and Diggory's on the end. So he lays down with his head in my lap, which is one of my favorite ways for us to snuggle. and I'm running my hands through his hair, and my knees are bent, right? So knees are bent, his head is in my lap. We're both looking at the TV, and then Diggory is actually on the floor. I take it back, right beside him, and he's rubbing Diggory's head. So on and off, we're like, it was like a petting chain. But by the time the episode ends, he asked me to massage his beard a little bit, which is one of his favorite things. And as I'm listening to him be appreciative about this movement, okay, I'm like, so, you could show me a little bit of appreciation. And at this point, one of his hands had been gripped, like kind of resting on my thigh. Like he had put it around. And he was like, well, what do you mean? Do you want like a massage? And I just pushed his hand down until it was resting on the front of my underwear. And I was like, I mean, that's one way. But there are other places you could massage. So if you have not enjoyed, as a lady, I can't speak to the male experience, but as a lady, the way friction can be so delicious when pressure is applied through underwear. Who is she? I was salivating for this man after just a few minutes. And I was like, listen, I know it's late. I know you're probably tired. It's okay if we don't have less of this in us tonight, but I want to fuck you so bad. Some people ask me, how do you initiate sex, Laura? I'll tell you right now, sometimes directness is best, is key. But also knowing that it's okay if someone does not, consent is also key. So me letting him know, yeah, I'm into you, I want this to go further, but also it's okay if it doesn't. That's the happy zone. So we head upstairs. He sits on the edge of the bed. I come over and stand between him. I'm still wearing my cute daisy set, right? I let the silk robe fall off my shoulders. And when I'm standing in front of him, because there's a height difference between us, he's just a little bit shorter than me when he's sitting on the edge of our bed. So I let his head fall on my chest, and I'm like massaging his scalp. And then his hands come up the back of my thighs, and I was like, just so you know, this underwear has a little tie on each side. And he goes, does it? And he slowly pulls the string on one, and they just fall away. And then he reaches behind to unhook the bra strap. I'm like, you can use both hands. This is not a competition. He was like, it's a competition. And he unhooks not 3, but there were 5 clasps in the back, one-handed. Boy, where'd you learn that? Who do I need to thank for you learning that move? And things start getting spicier. And as we're making out, I ask him, where do you want me? Edge of the bed, doggy style. A+ sex position, in case you're wondering, especially if you're plus sized, because it's easy access. And afterwards, when I have been lavished with attention and the O-est of O's, snuggling with each other till we fall asleep and still being entwined most of the night is just, I'm just so happy. And that's just a random Wednesday for us. I'll let you know how the pictures look.